Beauty! Here he is, third choice keeper, Ruben. Good.
James from Sky Sports News. As always on these calls, just make sure you're on mute unless you're asking a question, and use the chat facility to request a question. And James, over to you. Go ahead.
Hi, James. You're on the verge of a test debut here at the home of cricket. How do you feel?
As you'd expect, 2 days out for a possible debut. Nerves start to kick in a little bit, but I'm sort of helped by the fact I've been in and around the setup for the last year or so. So it certainly makes things on that side of things a lot easier. Not coming in and meeting loads of people that you've been watching on the telly for a while and get to know the coaches and stuff. So all that stuff sort of fell into place, which was nice, and I can just focus on the prospect of the cricket side of things.
Yeah, how nervous do you tend to get? How do you deal with those nerves? Because there'll be a crowd back as well, won't there, for the...
Yeah, I always get a few nerves. I think everyone does. It's natural. I think I've learned to sort of channel those in a better way over the last couple of years or so. Use it as a positive. And I feel like when I'm a little bit nervous and there's a little bit more riding on things, I tend to come good and thrive under that sort of a little bit of pressure. And your chance comes courtesy of a freak injury to Ben Folkes. Could you quite believe it when you found out? No, it's something that you never sort of see happening, especially in the manner that it happened. I'm gutted for him. But he's been brilliant. I spoke to him yesterday and he's really helpful to me in terms of keeping and the different bowlers and how you can combat that and what sort of challenges might come up against. So, obviously I'm sure he is gutted. Well, I know he is, but he's in a brilliant headspace and he's been really good with me over the last 48 hours or so. Yeah, how is your keeping? Because you're primarily in the squad as a top order batsman, but you have kept obviously for your county as well. Yeah, I've worked really hard on it over the past couple of years, ever since coming in on the Lions. And I feel like it's in a really good place. I've worked hard with the other keepers and keeping coaches, and it feels in a really good place. I had a good catch yesterday and go again today, and I'm in a really confident space in terms of the fact I can perform with the gloves as well as the bat. It's a tough place to keep here, Lords, isn't it? Yeah, there's a couple of different factors you've got to take into account. It's going to be different in terms of the pace of the pitch and the slope, and sometimes you've got to work with little angles and stuff like that. But it's all stuff that the bowlers and Ruti and other guys have given me little tips on, and I'm sure when it comes to Wednesday, if I'm out there, I'll be in a good spot. And finally, from me, the prospect of a crowd here and playing in front of a crowd. I mean, how good is that for you as a sportsman, and also given what the country's been through in the last year? Yeah, amazing to have it back. It was great to have it back in county cricket last week. Everyone's really excited about the start of the Test summer, and with the weather picking up, crowds back in. Been really tough without them over the last winter, but really, really exciting prospect. I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you. Go well. Cheers, James.
Cheers, James. We'll go Stefan, BBC, and then Dean Wilson from Reach PLC. Go ahead, Steph.
Hi, James. I just wonder if you could talk us through, the range of emotions that you've been through over the past, 10 days or 2 weeks, from getting your call up to hearing about Ben's injury to the place you are now, potentially on the verge of that debut.
Yeah, really excited when I got the call in the 15. I think it's a bit different to how I've been around the group in the last year or so. I think that step up into the main squad is really a big landmark, and I've sort of been ticking off those groups. I've had from 55, it's kept being cut, and now I feel like I'm really close. So that's brilliant. I was really excited. I'm really keen to get going. When I heard about Ben, it was a almost a bit of shock. Obviously, didn't really have it on my radar to be there as a keeper. Obviously knew that I was one of two, but Ben was obviously highly likely to take those gloves. And when I got that call, just sort of didn't really sink in straight away. But I think once I've arrived here in London, sort of started to sink in, started to sort of bed in that's a distinct possibility, and really excited, as well as obviously a few nerves just kicking about.
You said that maybe taking the gloves wasn't maybe the route that you thought you'd get into the England team. And looking at it, there's Josh Butler, there's Johnny Bairstow, there's Ben Folkes. The route to that wicket-keeping spot is quite crowded. Now it looks like you are taking the gloves, and presumably you want to make it as difficult as possible for someone to take them off you.
Yeah, exactly. And while we were away this winter, all four of us were there. It wasn't something I really looked at, but I always knew that if I continued to work on my keeping, there was always a possibility. So obviously I'm really glad now that I've put in that extra shift and put in those extra yards, because it puts me in a lot better spot now. And of course, if I can keep well, even if that means, with Josh and Johnny and Ben coming back later in the summer, it might not be mine to keep, but as long as I show myself as a good keeper, it's definitely going to help me out moving forward.
Lovely. Thank you.
Cheers, Stephen.
Okay, Dean Wilson, then John Etheridge.
Yeah, hi James. Congratulations on this step up. We spoke to Ollie Robinson yesterday. He might get a Test debut as well, and he told us a little bit about the style of cricketer he is. What's the James Bracey style of cricket? What can fans expect to see from you? What sort of cricketer are you?
Yeah, I like to think I'm, when it comes to batting, I like to get in the battle, gritty, not afraid to, put in those hard yards, go through those tough spells, which I know I'm certain to come up against when I play Test cricket. We've discussed a lot of the bowlers, and we know that they're going to put pressure on us. And I feel like in those scenarios, I thrive and come really good. So definitely willing to put in those hard yards. And, I think like to sort of be patient, be sort of calculated. I like to think about the game. But, try my best to sort of stay calm. I think Ollie's sort of, when it comes to fast bowling, he's aggressive. He's a fierce competitor. I like to sort of take that similar approach, but maybe in a less sort of, I don't maybe show it as much. I like to stay calm and stay present and, get in the battle that way.
So you're not one of these keepers who likes to get under the skin of the batsman and then constantly chirping in their ear, maybe like a Wade or Sangakkara or someone like that?
Oh, I feel like I like to just get around my teammates a bit more than that, I don't tend to focus on that. I think I never have done, and I've had people tell me that before, and it's never felt that comfortable. So I like to focus on our things, get around our fielders, get around our bowlers, and focus on the skills that I've got to put into place.
And just finally from me, you said that obviously you know a lot of the guys from having been around the squad for a little while. Have you kept to all the guys? Do you know what to expect from a Jimmy Anderson away swinger and Stuart Broad short ball and things like that?
Yeah, I've in Asia this winter, I've kept a lot of them in practice, in various sort of practice games and that sort of thing. That's why I reached out again to Ben over the last couple of days, because there is little things that you don't get from not keeping to people in games. I think it is really key to sort of identify that everyone is different to keep to. So, he was really helpful, gave me a couple of little tips, but, today and tomorrow, I'll definitely keep to the mat in the middle and hopefully get a feel of each of them out using the slope and that sort of thing as well.
Great, thanks.
Cheers, Nick.
Okay, John, Julian Geyer, and then David Charlesworth.
You alluded to it slightly with Stefan, actually, but one person's misfortune can be another person's opportunity in sport. Obviously, Ben's had his freak accident. But did you regard this as your chance now to establish yourself as England's number 2 wicketkeeper batsman behind Josh Butler in Test cricket?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as you said, a lot of the time things happen when you don't expect them. I've had a lot of times this winter when I've sort of been trying to calculate how I'm getting in the team and how I'm going to get that opportunity. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of the time it happens when you don't expect it. So that time hopefully has now come. Obviously, I've benefited from Folkesy, having a freak accident. And I think, if I put in good performances over the next couple of games, that could see me bed into sort of the squad moving forward. I'm obviously looking at each game at a time, and obviously this week, if I get out there, it's an opportunity for me to not only push myself with the gloves, but really show what I can do with the bat and show that I can do different roles.
Do you think you could get in the team as a batsman?
Yeah, I think so. I'm in a really good place with my batting. I think I came out of that trip to Asia and looked at myself and thought I could do a job in Test cricket in that top 3. That's what I've been aiming to do. You know, opportunity comes with the gloves, but I'm still remembering that I want to be batting in the top 3 as well. So if the option comes to do that at some point, I'm really excited for that.
A slightly longer term, bearing in mind those 2 roles you can fulfil, a place on the flight to Australia next winter would be a big ambition. Yeah,
obviously it's hard not to think about it, but trying to sort of stay present. There's 7 Test matches this summer. A lot can happen. You know, I'm really excited about the possibility of playing 2 of the world's best teams this summer, and obviously an Ashes tour next winter is another goal as well. I think we'll see how these first few games go, and then hopefully I'll be in a position where I can't be ignored.
Thanks.
Thanks, John.
Okay, Julian, and then David.
Hello, James. I just wondered, has anyone said to you yet where you'll be batting in this matter?
No, I've obviously been told about Ben's injury. Not really had much in terms of conversation around my batting or, you know, obviously official confirmation that I'm playing yet. I'm just preparing for all circumstances. Obviously, with the keeping duties as well, I'm prepared that if I play, I might bat sort of down at 6 or 7. But you know, I think my skill set, I can fit into that role as well. So I'm preparing for all scenarios, but I'm assuming, you know, if I do get out there, there's the option of batting lower down.
What do you like waiting to bat? Are you one of these guys who gets a bit nervous or antsy when you're in the dressing room?
A little bit. I think I've been pretty good this summer. I think it's always helped by the fact that if you score some runs early in the year, I think it makes it a lot easier than moving forward. So, you know, I've been pretty good. I'm a little bit twitchy, a little bit nervous, but I feel like that's all channeled in a good way. I'm not obviously massively used to batting down the order, but I think, you know, I'm confident that I'll jump into that and be good as well.
Thank you very much.
Okay, quick change. We'll finish with Paul and then Tim Wigmore. Go ahead, Paul.
Hi, James. How much experience have you got keeping at the levels? I think you did it earlier this season for us. You said there's the unique demands of the wobble, etc.
Yeah, I think, did you mention about the wobble there as well? Sorry, you cut out.
Yeah, sorry, I've got a bit of feedback there.
Yeah, it was the first time I did it this 2 weeks ago. So, you know, slightly different, obviously, with the setup and the slope and that sort of thing. I think I got on pretty well. Obviously, very different bowlers, you know. Gloucester's attack is different in ways to England's attack. But yeah, there is that little bit of wobble. I think I've done a lot of work over the last summer and winter working on that with Bruce French and Ben Folkes in particular. They're really big on those things. And, you know, I think I'm in a good place with it. Hopefully, obviously, today I can get a bit more of a feel. And I think it's something that, you know, my keeping technique is up to.
Thank you.
Cheers.
The last one, Tim.
Hi, James. There was some talk that the team might do more in terms of anti-racism stance or protest. Is that something you've discussed as a team? Is there any news for us on that front?
Yeah, it's been a big discussion amongst the group since last summer. I think it's been really sort of proactive from particularly Mark Saxby and some of the staff in terms of driving that. Joe Root's brilliant as well in really driving that. And, you know, a lot of the PCA and ECB's focus this winter has been on education and getting people clued up with it. You know, we've had some anti-racism seminars and equality, diversity sort of exercises and those sort of things. And I think it's in a really good place. Hopefully we can keep that moving forward throughout the summer. And
for this game specifically, is there anything that's new planned?
There's been a couple of suggestions, but I don't know about anything specific. I think they're still waiting on that, but it's definitely in the pipeline, I assume.
Okay, so that might. Have you discussed that as a group before this match in particular?
We've had discussions. Mark's still communicating with ECB about it. We'll find out more, I'm sure, near the day.
Cheers.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Cheers. Have a good day.